Hey everyone, I'm live here with Tracy Wilson from Rock Creek Lodge and Venue. Hi Tracy.
Hi,
Welcome. Thanks for doing this with me today.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the first question I always ask is to tell us what you do and how you help people.
So I am the owner of a wedding and event venue, and it's Rock Creek Lodge and Venue, and we are 30 minutes outside of Wichita. And how we help people, we created two spaces to bring family and friends together in order for them to celebrate all of life's occasions, right? Big or small. And so we help them do that.
Yeah, and you have kind of a cool story of how you found this space. Do you want to dig into that at all?
Sure. So we were looking for a bigger house for our family, and my husband and I came to look at this property, and it was just gorgeous. It had a log home. It had 3 ponds, some land, lots of really fun nature elements, and then it also had a venue space. And we were not expecting to see that at all. So this beautiful vaulted ceilings, venue space. And so we were kind of blown away by everything together. And immediately our old envision of like what we were going to do with our family kind of went out the window. And we had this new vision for the property, and we wanted to create kind of like a retreat for the whole space. And that's what we ended up doing. And we went to work immediately making sure the space could do that.
I love that. Well, and one of my favorite things about your venue is that it's such a great option for people who are wanting to kind of have a whole experience for a whole weekend with their family. So whether it's a wedding or a family reunion or something like that, it's not just you go to the venue and then you go home. It's like you can stay and experience it for the whole weekend. So.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that we saw in this place that was unique and different, was that we could provide that space for an extended time for people where they didn't have to rush around just because they wanted to celebrate, like in and out, that they really could come and stay for the weekend, the week, a night, and make it more meaningful and special, for sure.
Yeah, I love it. So you weren't always an entrepreneur. You were a teacher before, right? So what kind of led you into having the spirit to kind of say, I can do this. We can do this. I can be an entrepreneur and own my own business.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people thought that was my dream, was to own a wedding venue. And, everything has kind of evolved, but I was a teacher for 10 years, and then I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years before we decided to start this business. And, what I think drives me is to always learn and grow and to see opportunities. And so when we saw this opportunity, there was some few things standing in our way, but mainly just my lack of knowledge about the business. But really, you can learn it, and you can tap into mentors and do research and read books. And I just went to work immediately doing all of those things. Like, I didn't even have an Instagram account when we started, and I asked my niece, who was 16 at the time, to help me get an Instagram account started because it was so foreign to me, because I was a stay-at-home mom. So that wasn't kind of on my radar at the time with babies, but I knew I could learn to do it. And I think that running a business is challenging, but the flexibility and being able to be creative is so appealing to a lot of people.
Oh yeah. So speaking of creativity, can you dig a little deeper into like really the passion that drives you?
Sure. I think the passion that drives me, especially with this particular business, is seeing people like kind of doing life for the right reasons. And so at first, my passion that drove it has kind of evolved, I feel like, because at first, like, you want to be successful, right? Like, you want to start something and you want it to be how successful it can be. But with that, you have to also realize what's more important. And what's more important for me, when I realized what we were doing specifically at our business, was we were seeing people and meeting people and helping them live and support their crew, right? And so it keeps driving me because I keep, I'm on the phone with grandmas and future mother-in-laws, and they want to do all of these things for these people that they love, and they're doing it in a way that is selfless. They're doing it in a way that they want to be 100% supportive and not judgmental. They want to help in any way that they can. They want to connect to them. They want to build these really genuine relationships. And that is what really drives me, to see that. And for us to have a place for that to happen is pretty magical. And, being creative and learning is also important too. So it just kind of keeps me going in that direction.
I love that. And when you are doing business from that place of helping people and, really having a heart for it, and that is going to help you be successful. So it always comes around, right? So I love that. So it hasn't always been easy, though. I know you've had some challenges throughout the journey. So what have been some of those challenges or struggles?
Yeah. So I think my first one is I didn't know anything about running a wedding and event venue. And so that learning curve for me was a little scary. But like I said, I just went straight to work, put my babies down, read until 2 a.m., started calling people, researching, really digging into the kind of the meat of that kind of a business. And then once that started to happen, I started to feel more comfortable with, yes, we could do it. The other thing too, I realized is we had to create an atmosphere. Like I had to create what kind of atmosphere I wanted to have out here. And then once I decided that, this making decisions based on what that was made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's almost like your values are super clear, and what you're creating is really clear. Then when you're able to make decisions, you can go back to that foundation again and again.
Yes. And if you keep making decisions based on those, then you know that everything else is going to just kind of fit.
Yeah.
Yes. And people will find you for that.
Oh yeah, that's great. Sure. So speaking of people finding you, you touched on this, but can you dig a little deeper into really what makes your space unique?
Yeah. So I think our space is unique because you are able to have kind of an extended stay. And so we are private, we are secluded, but we're not too far away.
Yeah.
There's some places that, you have to go pretty far away to kind of get that privacy or that seclusion. We're not really that far away. We're kind of centrally located for 30, 45-minute drive, kind of from anywhere. We have people come from Emporia and Manhattan and all kinds of places because we are here, centrally located-ish, depending on where you're coming from. So I think that's really important, and that you can extend your stay. Time is important, and some people don't want that in and out, that real rush. Yeah. And it doesn't allow that true connection time, or that true, if you're trying to do any type of retreat, like personal growth or business growth or team building, you're not able to really do that if you know that you're watching the clock because you got to check out at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And so instead you really can kind of take your shoes off and let that go. So that makes us, I think, super unique. I also think our property is unique in the way that we have a lot of nature, we have 3 ponds. And so just the views and the quiet and stillness of it really provides a surrounding for any event.
Yeah, I love that inside outside piece that you have. It's like you can spend part of your day inside, part of it outside. There's different options. People can kind of spread out if they need to, or come together. You have really both of that. So you mentioned several times you are a mom, and you have a husband and a business and all of these things going on. So what does work-life self-care alignment look like for you?
Man, so this has evolved. I think over the years, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had to adjust to that kind of life, and all the stay-at-home moms and juggling that was way different. So What I've learned though, as my kids have gotten older and our business, my business has developed and grown, my biggest thing is planning.
Mm.
And once I learned that, and that I had a choice of what I planned, then that set me free.
Yeah.
And made me feel less guilty. So like, the idea of I'm at work and I feel guilty because I should be home with my kids, or when I'm home with my kids, I feel guilty because I should be working. That kind of pull is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, but if I'm working like I am today, I planned it, right? And I know that tomorrow I'm planning on taking my kids swimming. Like because then it helps me be more efficient as a business owner and more connected and present as a mom. Yeah. And you have to be present as a business owner too. So you have to be really careful that if you're not being as efficient and focused as a business owner, that's going to affect it. So I plan when I work. I plan when I have my employees out here. I plan when I have a date night. I plan, playing with my kids. That is all very important in making me feel that everyone is getting my time without me feeling guilty either way.
Right. Well, and your time for yourself too.
Well, yes.
Right.
Yes, that is also a struggle. But oh my goodness, thank you for saying that, because I do plan that as well. So there's some things that are on my list that I do every month for myself, and that's planned out as well. So that's super important.
I love that you found that strategy that works for you. Yeah. So since you've been a bee, how do you feel that the Hive has helped you personally and professionally?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I love being around people who just make you want to be better. And the Hive is full of those. When I was a teacher, my coworkers, or when I was on like the interview board and things like that, if that person was sitting next to me and they just made me want to be a better teacher, then I was like, they're in. I want to go talk to them. I want to be connected to them. They have this positive attitude. And so the Hive is full of all of those bees that make me want to be better. And so for that is really, really important. The other thing I would say is you feel so supported with your business and personally, because people show up there really authentic and really true to themselves. And it makes it so powerful that you feel comfortable that you can do the same. And I think that's a little rare sometimes. You kind of put a facade on, but really you can show up, and everyone shows up really authentically, personally and professionally, because it's all linked together, and they support each other. And it's, women focused, which is really important to me as well, because I think that us as women, we are juggling, like you said, all of you got your business, your family, and your self-care. But it's almost motivating. Like when we have conversations, when we get together with like-minded women, creativity happens. We feel more motivated to leave the discussion and go and do the thing, feeling, and less of, like sometimes you are in your own head and you're like, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. But if you are connected with the people like at the Hive, it gives you all of this kind of magical motivation and confidence to at least go try, even if you're scared. And so the Hive has really helped me feel confident to at least try, even if it fails. And knowing that there's other people there that will have your back no matter what.
Aww, you're gonna make me cry.
It's great. Yes, I feel that. For sure.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's really what I felt like I needed before I started it. I needed that, and wasn't sure if those people were going to be in Wichita, but and surrounding areas, but they are. And when you kind of shine a light, like, hey, I'm doing this over here. Anybody else want to join me? It really does start to attract people that are, like you said, showing up authentically and in support of one another. And that's my favorite part too. So what insight would you give to somebody who was maybe at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey?
So I think we're in a society where the mindset is like scarcity or lack or too inundated. And I just don't believe in that. I believe that there's room for everybody at the table. And so that's what I would first say to somebody who's thinking about something or just getting started, because you are sometimes hesitant saying, well, there's already 5 event venues in a 30-minute radius to mine right now, right? What do I think I'm doing? But that's not true. There's room for all of us. And so I truly believe that if we support each other and we leave the competition at the door and we only compete with ourselves, and we don't look at other people to be that comparing to, the opportunities all of a sudden start to come. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you're closed off to those opportunities until you let your mind understand that there's room for all of us. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, look at all these opportunities. But before you were so close off to them that you weren't even allowing them to be there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that perspective. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that collaboration over competition always, and that you're really, you really are only competing with yourself in the past, right? Like your past self. And I love that. So anything we can do to help you, or anything that you have coming up that we need to know about?
Yeah, so I just think, I think everyone has been so wonderful. If you come out to Rock Creek, you see how beautiful it is. And then you think of other ways to use our property. So if you know of anybody who's looking for a place to have, family together, or friends or businesses come together to do, good things and connect, then we are the best place for you, for sure, to do that. So, we're always here, and we're happy to help, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I can attest to that. I've done several business events out there with you guys, and it's just such a loving, welcoming, like, space that I feel like it's a space that holds space for you. That kind of energy is hard to find sometimes. I feel like, especially when you're doing something business, it can feel like overly corporate-y or stuffy, but your space just isn't that way at all. It's very homey, but still, can still feel professional at the same time, but in a very authentic way, I guess. So
yes, for sure.
We love it out there. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for joining me today. And anything else you want to share before we hop off?
We might be doing a women's retreat in October. It's we're trying to decide if maybe there is kind of a need for it right now. But we'll keep you posted.
Yes, definitely.
It's one of my favorite things to do an overnight women's retreat out here. So we'll keep you posted, but definitely love the Hive and love you, Andrea, and thanks for this opportunity.
We love you guys too. Well, talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.